All right, hello, welcome back to Trove. Am I good for this? Can I go to the next one? Oh, I can go to the next one. Okay, hang on, well, I've been lucky on this, apparently. Welcome back to Trove. I feel like we've checked in on Trove many a time. But this is the console launch. So it wasn't previously, it was in beta. It's still a free-to-play game. It's entirely a free-to-play game. It normally is a free-to-play game. But this is the console launch. So now you can feel more free to complain about random shit. This is I don't know if I've played the Xbox One version though. I've actually been playing the PlayStation version more actively. Hang on, I want to kind of grab this. I've been playing the PlayStation version a little bit more actively. They're pretty much identical from what I can tell, so far as I can tell. Oh. So if you do have both consoles, I don't think either of them are that different. But so I guess the thing that has been improved from the beta to the full release, which was one of the things that was kind of like, I would say a deal breaker for me, is that now for the most part the interface is pretty similar. So I still have some stuff carried over from the last session that I had before. So here's some gear that I can't use because it's not that much better. So now in the loot collector, you have the same kind of interface that you have on PC, where you just kind of do a one button press to loot everything. And then also, you won't see this from your end immediately, but you have the crafting inventory here as well. If you played on the console version previously, then you might not necessarily have all of it categorized there automatically, but you can just kind of dump it. It'll ask you to move things from one inventory to another, and then you can just move it over easily. It does have different things for gems, or gems, sorry. I'm getting confused with Path of Exile, which has like gems, and also there's another word, gems and skill jewels, and like there's that kind of distinction in that game, but not in here. Yeah, so the console version, for the most part, is the same like core game as the PC version, but I don't know how closely they have like feature parity or anything like that. Oh, actually, let me see if I have there's a mount that I might have. For me, not that this really, oh, mastery. Ooh, hello. Not that this really matters for anybody else, but oh, I don't have another mount, shit. My PlayStation account has a lot more stuff on it for some reason. Yeah, for whatever reason, I think this is kind of a bummer as someone that does happen to play on all of them. I feel like this is a really weird, this is a video game first world problem, but it doesn't share an account across everything. So I actually play on the PC primarily, I'd say. And so it's kind of a bummer that there's no real linking of accounts. Like you can link your Tryon account, and then you can get some things carried over, and you'd get a little bit of a bonus for doing that crossover. But if you want to play on both simultaneously, they're two separate accounts. Like both console accounts and your PC account are different, which I guess I'm spoiled by Final Fantasy 14, to be honest, where I expect that to kind of be the standard, because it is not standard. I'm pretty sure it has not been. I've seen that in 0 other games, I think, or any other games that I play, which are like RPGs, I guess. I don't know if like World of Tanks or whatever has something similar, but you know, no MMOs that I play have that kind of parity where you can just, if you really want to play like hardcore, you can play on the PC, and then if you're just like, I really just want to, you know, play on my couch or whatever, I'm gonna grab a controller. It's not quite that easy, so it's kind of a disappointment. But again, it is kind of like a video game first world problem thing. Not everybody will really even care. And I think, to be honest, like if you played primarily on console before, I think this update, I guess the launch of the game update, is significant enough where the quality of life things are there. So it's very comparable to the PC version. Primarily the loot collector stuff. It was just such a weird quality of life thing to not have, so it's weird. But now that they're all kind of similar, I did previously play primarily on the PC, and I'm not really sure if I want to settle on that or the console version. I feel like I have more cosmetic stuff on the PC version, so I do kind of want to stick to that. I have a bunch of like dream crates to do to give away, but those can be redeemed anywhere, but I don't know if the reward stacks across different platforms. I wonder how that actually works. I don't know. Like if you are in my situation, because like the cosmetics, I have a lot more cosmetic stuff on the PC version. So I feel like I should kind of just stick there, but who knows? But yeah, so the core game is kind of, and so as a result of playing all 3 versions of the game, unless there's a Switch version coming out soon, I don't know. As a result of playing all 3 versions of the game, I'm not necessarily that far in on any of the characters. I haven't broken like 1,000 power level on any of the characters, which is kind of a bummer. I feel like the game isn't necessarily like different. It's kind of, once you get to this stage that I'm at, then it becomes kind of, I should probably just do some of these dungeons to kind of fill out the space. I don't know if this is efficient, but I've only been doing these large multi-tier dungeons because they're more exciting. I don't know. Yeah, but for the most, I don't really, I need to go down and sit down and kind of checklist off like how similar and dissimilar some things are. It seems like the PlayStation Plus exclusive, there are more cosmetic PlayStation Plus exclusive things that I have for whatever reason, and I have not had a bunch on the Xbox. I don't really know why that is. I think that's more of a me thing, not necessarily the game or anything. So take that with a grain of salt. But I do happen to prefer the PlayStation version. So initially, I don't know if I mentioned this while I was doing any of the PlayStation playthroughs. I'm looking for the door, by the way. I don't think I've seen this layout before. I'm used to playing the PlayStation version, but one of the problems that I had with the PlayStation version is that it had some hardcore latency issues where it would just fail to load like a place sometimes, like a door here or there, like it just wouldn't load, or not a door, it wouldn't load a block correctly. So as a result, I just couldn't, because it's an always online game, like I just couldn't make it to the next place because if it doesn't load the block, I can't walk there. And I thought that was a PlayStation Network issue, but it turns out that it's not, because it happened for me on the Xbox as well. So if you're playing on the Xbox, you might encounter just a fair deal of weird latency. I don't know. I did this layout before, and I don't actually know how to solve it. Mad Steam Ranger. Is there like a thing I'm supposed to fall down here? Where is this chest actually? Okay, so I killed that guy, right? Where's this chest? Oh, right there. Sneaky, sneaky. Yeah, so kind of once you get into the Uber levels, it turns into something of a grind. You kind of have to just go through and do a bunch of dungeons until you incrementally get up enough gear to kind of progress. And like I said, I have been doing the only bigger dungeons, and I'm not necessarily convinced that that's the best strategy. It's felt really intuitive to just do like a big sequence of like all of these things together, and then oh, you know what? This is probably how you're supposed to come in then. I came in here 2 different ways before, so I'm not really sure where the beginning or end is. Yeah, but so once you get to kind of this Uber level, you kind of have to just grind a little bit to get more gear until you are geared enough to get to the next tier of difficulty, which could take it's RNG based at this point. So it kind of, I think I have it where all of your gear needs to be kind of red or above to start progressing into the next area. So, oh wow, there's nothing here. And then once you have the red or above gear, then that's kind of, I'll start getting like black and like white and rainbow gear. And that's just kind of like rarity tier that I'm referring to. So that's kind of the deal here. I don't have any idea how to do this layout. I got stuck here before. Some of these things are a little bit more difficult to figure out than others. I guess this is the guy, Steam Rager. He seems like a Steam Rager. Yeah, I haven't really showcased a lot of other classes. I'll try to do that in the future. They are very simple, I will say. All the classes have pretty similar core mechanics. The reason I'm picking the Paladin, or a Warrior, or whatever this is actually called, is because one of my ultimate ability is to just become invincible, and it's also a full heal, so it's an extremely useful ability, very utilitarian kind of thing in an RPG context. So there's that. How did I get in before where I couldn't get back out? I remember I warped out, but I don't know now. Yeah, so I kind of pass over, I don't know if this is good or bad, but I kind of skip these single dungeons with a single tower and then have only really been going for these tall ones because they include like a few different sub-bosses every now and again. Oh God, it's the same layout. Am I really unlucky? What's going on? Okay, well, I mean, I guess now I know that I need to go to the second floor. So that's kind of good. Except this isn't the door. Damn. Bodied. You can kind of mine your way in if you wanted to, I suppose. Which I could do. Or you could just do that. Aha. I'll see if it's the same. Like, we'll find that Steam Rager. Maybe I did it and I just don't realize that I did. I don't know how RNG-ish this interior actually is. It seems really RNG because this doesn't seem like the same layout at all. Or is that just placebo effect? All right, let's walk through. Yeah, you know, this doesn't seem like the same layout. Am I imagining things? All right, well, let's kill this guy, I guess. Yeah, I would say, so I still have the same kind of complaints, I would say, about the game that I did before, where I really wish there was a, like a single player or offline mode, because the problem that I find with this game is that it is slightly, it feels less responsive than I would like. And it's probably, you know, a symptom of being like a weird, you know, free-to-play, action-y RPG, MMO kind of thing. You know, I'm not necessarily asking for just like full-on raid boss mechanics in a game like this, although that would be nice. It's just more like, you know, I would like it to feel more like a character action game, even if that's maybe a little bit unreasonable. Or have the responsiveness of a character action game. Because I feel like something like this aspires to have somewhere of like a middle line between character action complexity and action, full action combat MMO complexity, but it's so mushy that it doesn't really necessarily feel that great as strictly a character action game. So I'm left wanting in that regard. Yeah, dude, I don't have any idea. I'm really bad at this dungeon. This dungeon totally killed me. I feel like I'm not seeing the same layouts that I saw before. I'm looking for like the same looking boss, like the dude with like the steampunk looking backpack thing, and I'm just not finding him. I don't think, maybe I'm not looking hard enough. All right, we'll do one more lap and then I'm just gonna dip out of here, I think. This guy gets to live, it's cool. Huh. Yeah, what a weird, what the heck? Huh. Yeah, it's weird. To be honest, I feel like I still barely like understand the game. Kind of crazy. All right, whatever. I'm out of here then, I guess. The music has stopped. I think on paper, I kind of like what this is, especially as a console game, especially, and that's why kind of the responsiveness is a little bit disappointing. But as a console game, especially, it's pretty cool because, especially if it had an offline mode, you know, it'd be very low commitment, I guess. Although I don't really know how much they really want that to be a selling point or anything, but it's really nice because you don't have to. There's not harsh or strict very rigid party restrictions or anything like that. It was in this open world environment. You can kind of just team up with whoever you want, and you can start going places and doing things. You don't have to worry too much about, you know, LFG or anything like that. You don't have to worry about that stuff. Oh, is this a dungeon? Hello. And so I do kind of wish that there was like more of a closed thing or like a peer-to-peer thing. I understand like probably one of the core aspects where it doesn't have like an offline mode is because that would be highly exploitable, especially in console. It's kind of one of the core reasons that Diablo is kind of a shit show on console, because it's just it's very hackable. But you know, I feel like there's a middle ground here somewhere that is worth trying to explore. Maybe. I would like to explore it, let's say. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like especially if you only play the console version, the quality of life upgrades are a very welcome change. I think the only thing I can really ask for at this point is to have better linking of accounts so that I can easily play between all of them. I don't even really know what kind of subset of the audience even really cares about something like that. You know, like I say that kind of thing in my head and I'm just like, wow, this seems ridiculous, huh? But really it's just like, you know, I happen to have a PC and then for one reason or another, I just can't play it all the time or something. So having a different version would be nice. Hello? Oh, I just used my ultimate ability. Shit! I don't think this is the way I'm supposed to go then. I feel like these two things are interacting in a weird way. No, I feel like that is where I'm supposed to go. It's just broken. Ooh, the camera gets really hairy here. This is not a console version exclusive problem. It just fucks up. Yeah, I feel like this is fucked up because the two things spawned right next to each other. They're touching. That's hilarious. Or maybe not, they're not actually touching. That's fucked up though. I'm pretty sure that's broken. Come on, Trove, you're killing me. I do appreciate any of the environments that are a little bit more open because I do feel like I need this space sometimes. Not necessarily because I need that kind of space to move and the mechanics are such where I really need to take advantage of some of my moves or anything like that. It's just like the camera sucks sometimes. Cool. Oh wow, I've been getting a lot of reds. Maybe I have enough to bump up the difficulty a little bit. I'm not really sure what kind of breakpoint I'm looking for some of this stuff. You know, I think they give you like a pretty hard set limit for like power level, but I feel like that doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. Or I guess it does, but kind of getting there is a weird goal. I kind of wonder what it's like for, you know, someone that doesn't play Diablo an unreasonable amount of hours. To just be like, okay, well, I don't know. Because I guess the deceiving part about it is that the first like 10 or whatever, the first like 8 levels, the tutorial effectively, is very straightforward. Like you go and you can follow the objective marker or whatever. Because it's just like, okay, do this, like whatever. Do a couple dungeons. And then after you get a couple dungeons, you're just like, okay, I can almost assuredly get the next tier of weapons. And then in the span of like 15 minutes, you're like in the next difficulty, where from Uber 1 to 2 for me and one of my characters, it was like a couple hours. And I wonder, I mean, I guess if you know, play RPGs, it's not that, or MMOs especially, it's not that big a deal. But I wonder for like other people, because this is a free to play console game now, you know, like how much more palatable is that experience for other new people? Can I help you? I'm trying to like mine these blocks. All right, let's say we do this dungeon. Hopefully it's cool, and then we'll call it for something. Yeah, console. I mean, there wasn't really anything here. I'll probably have to wait and pause these. These will probably be a little bit more infrequent, so that we can get to the actual high level. We can get to some actual high level stuff for the next check-in. And then as I try to solve this like identity crisis of which version will I play. I probably will also turn these into like more of a stream thing too, because I'm trying to figure out a nicer way to give out some of those, the codes for those dream boxes. Oh, this is just like a giant tree, I guess. Wait a minute, where am I going? Ow. Where the fuck am I going? So confused. I feel like I'm trying to get up there, but I don't have enough jumps to really make this. So I guess what they want me to do is mine the thing out. I can't. Huh. Yeah, I don't have any other jumps, so I can't really, you know what I'm saying? I can't do that. Well, this is confusing. Half of the fun is trying to figure out how to get up the dungeon. Heh. Yeah, it's hard to just like look up in that scenario because, you know, the camera just kind of shits itself once you do that because you're just like, And part of that is like very clearly like a world authorship kind of problem, but it makes it so some of the worlds are like a little bit harder to manage than others. And I feel like the speed of the game too is just lends itself to not having an experience where you really can kind of take the time to like look up and around and check out the environment and do all that stuff. I feel like there's supposed to be a boss there, but there isn't. It's cool. I'll leave. You get to live, just back off. Yeah, look at that. Now I'm invincible. Yeah, I think on like an abstract level, like an overall game mechanics kind of thing, I think this is the kind of game that I would like. I do think it needs a little bit of refining maybe before it is exactly the game that I want. But I feel like it is like enough of a, it is kind of where in the middle ground I want like an MMO or like a Diablo style action RPG kind of thing. Whoa, hang on. A lot of noises there. Let's find a home base panel to check that shit out. Oh god, got vertigo trying to do that. That was intense. Getting vertigo from a video game makes me feel really stupid. Like, what am I doing? I think I'm just shy of like the power requirements to kind of get, for whatever reason, when we walked over, like when I started this, I feel like in my heart we were the right power level to go to Uber 2. But we were just shy of it or something. I don't know. We're just shy now. Dang, man, I'm just trying to put my home lot down. Wow, the spiders in this game normally don't freak me out, but for whatever reason right then, I was like, that looks fucked up. I'm not into that. Okay. Oh, I got one of these. Look at this. Look at how much of a drastic improvement that is. Jeez. And that was on stream too. Look at that, or video, I guess. That does not happen all the time. If you could get weapons and stuff like with that kind of consistency, then I feel like, well, one, this would be less of an MMO, but it would just be a much more consistent experience. I guess what part of me really wonders, like, do you come to this game to waste a lot of time? I mean, do you come to an MO to waste a lot of time, I guess? Who can say? I don't know. Ooh, let's see if I can do this forge thing. Forge. Oh, I don't have enough formicite ore. All right, yeah, but that's it. That's Trove. Trove's still Trove. But now it's on console. I wonder if Trion's gonna bring over some of their other games. So I don't even really know what other games are palatable for the console, but I kind of wonder. This transition's cool. I would say that the biggest killer, on top of just not being able to link accounts and already having a PC kind of base, kind of one of the killers for me is that you don't have any kind of performance options. And this performs not as good as the other version of the game. So if you are used to that, or you just are a little bit more sensitive, or you really like games that perform well and smoothly, this is not one of those on the console. It does not run poorly, I guess, but it doesn't run great. It doesn't run at like 60 FPS all the time, which is strange, I guess, considering the aesthetic of the game. Especially in this town area, you can kind of tell that it's like really choppy here. And it's not necessarily that choppy all the time in town or in dungeons or anything like that, but it's not smooth all the time either, especially in snowy environments. It's really bad. So that's kind of the other bummer. I would like to see that kind of thing get improved in some way. I don't know how, not a technical person in any way, but I think that's the kind of thing that really separates this version, or makes this version a little bit less palatable, where, you know, especially if you do play a little bit of the PC, or have played the PC, and are, I don't know, transitioning over for whatever reason, or you just like want to give this a try, I think that will immediately be off-putting. But from a gameplay perspective, this is for the most part the same game, as far as I can tell. Unless the end game is different, which we'll have to check in another thing for that. So cool stuff. Trove, still free to play. Still a video game. Look at my sword.